DQA, also known as Dual Questions Asked, is known for his interview on DTIYDK, where he was only asked 2 questions by Frodan and Bryce over the course of 8 minutes.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back for another episode of Don't Talk If You Don't Know, the unofficial official podcast dedicated to all things high-level North American teamfight tactics. For now, as we did announce our most recent episode that we're going to have an expansion to EMEA. But today's episode is a very special one. It's not just me and Bryce yapping away about Set 10, although we're probably going to do a little bit of that eventually. We're going to also do a special episode that we're calling the Hedge Fund. It's not actually a usual episode format whatsoever. We're going to be actually sponsoring a player to officially represent our podcast and brand at the Las Vegas Open happening in just under 1 week. Bryce, this is a pretty special episode. First of all, I want to check in with how you're doing. How's life been since Set 10 launched?
Life since Set 10 launched? I mean, the bummer was that immediately, I think the most fun days of the set so far were probably the first 3 or 4 days, like before all this Fast 9 stuff got optimized. I think it still felt like a environment where you could kind of do a lot and find success. Because we were bad, like we hadn't optimized yet, but it was still a lot more fun to do it. And I missed like all of that time because it was over Thanksgiving. So everyone like had their holiday and played like 100 games, but that just meant I had no childcare for that period of time. So I just had like a toddler and 2 twin infants to chase around. So I played like literally no TFT for 4 days. And that it feels like I missed the like really good part of the patch. But then I played Infinite this week, and like, yeah, it's pretty one-dimensional. I do think there's more skill expression to the patch than people are giving. Like, I think that some of the early game has nuance and is interesting. Rotating through shows to start the game can be somewhat interesting as well. And then it's a much more complicated legendary soup board than has ever existed in TFT. I'm not even sure it's close. Usually there's like 1 or 2 carries, but this one has like legit. There are 6 different units you can true carry on level 9 and build winning boards around, and I think that's really cool. The top end has never felt this good. I think if there's been other sets, I would hate this patch, and I think this patch is medium because actually building a strong level 9 board, like transitioning from cheap units into expensive units, like I don't know, I think there's a lot happening there. I think it's interesting.
Yeah, Set 10's got a lot to offer, and I think a lot of people are really excited for Vegas. There's people even practicing on PB right now to get scrims in, so it's going to be really interesting to see what kind of meta evolves based on the patch changes, but also seeing the community come together for the first time. Now, the way this episode came together was that Bryce and I were saying, hey, what if we just sponsored a player to represent us just straight up? Just give them money and give them like merch and just be like, hey, you're representing us. It's almost like, we're sending a player and helping make their dreams come true. We actually had a TFT caster come forward. Their name is Boopasaurus. You may see them all the time on, the official Teamfight Tactics channel for, the regionals and mid-set finale, things like that. Boop said, hey, I also want to personally get involved. Can I give you money and that also go towards sponsoring a player? And I said, oh, this is even better because we can turn it into content, right? My content-focused brain is like, what if we had all these people apply to try and get this $1,000 stipend and they have to come onto the podcast to convince us? And so the reason why it's called Hedge Fund is because it's a little bit element of Shark Tank. If you guys know this reality TV show, there's a bunch of VC capitalists that wait for people to come onto the show and pitch to them why they should invest in their startup company or their $1 million idea. And whether or not they get it and approved is up to them. And for us, today we have 6 finalists that we have picked through the 75 applications or so. And it was a lot. There's a lot of people who applied. And there's also a lot of big names and good players that applied that we actually rejected, Bryce.
Yeah, there were. I mean, look, the reality is that there are, of the 75 applications, probably 35 or 40 of them were like, yes, this person is they're a very good player. They're an invested member of the community. They submitted thoughtful answers to these questions. They clearly have a need. So I wish we could have had a lot more people on the show and considered a lot more people. It was very hard to choose. We did multiple rounds through the applications.
Yep.
Like I did like an initial pass, and then we hopped on the phone together and like compared notes and kind of whittled down the list and built the final 6. So just honestly, just congratulations for being here, because I think that you all have like a really compelling story, and as hard as it was to figure out and whittle down to this, it's going to be even harder to choose just one of you to get it. So
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And so without further ado, let's go ahead and meet our 6 finalists for today for the stipend. And apologies again for like the lack of low production, or rather the low production quality graphics. Gangly's really busy, so for people who are watching on video right now, I recognize it's a little bit scuffed. Let's go ahead and introduce them one by one. So in the top left, we have DQA. DQA, welcome to the show. This is where you say something like, hi, opening.
Oh, sure. Hey, what's up, everybody?
All right, cool.
Why are TFT players so bad at introductions? It's like someone needs to do a montage of just the opening of Dan asking people how they're doing and getting the responses. It'd be really good.
Yeah, all right. So DQA doesn't need too much of an introduction if you follow North America, Teamfight Tactics, been to the World Championships multiple times. One of the most winning players in North America, also university student at UCLA, very smart, very accomplished, and also grinding Valorant every day, apparently, but maybe not so much since the 10 launch. In the top middle, we have Haiden from EMEA. We have someone from Europe outside the region applying. Haiden, welcome to the show.
Hello, hi, good morning.
That's right. What time is it over? You're in Sweden, right? What time is it over there?
Right now it's 4:40 in the morning.
Oh my God. All right. Well, thank you so much. Hopefully you're able to stay awake during it. I understand if you're pretty tired. Also, Haiden has made it to the Monsters Attacks at 8 World Championship. Accomplished players, right? Also kind of an OG from set 1, right? Haiden, you've been kind of playing on and off throughout since the very beginning.
Oh yeah, of course. I've been playing since day 1, basically, under a different name back then. But yeah, basically since it launched, I've been playing the game. So.
If I recall correctly, it was under the name Sunny Lou. Is that correct?
Yeah.
All right. So you might see him in Giant Slayer series stuff back in the day. That's some old school throwback for people who remember.
Exactly. That's the real OG.
That's the real OG. All right. In the top right, she may not necessarily need any intro, but I'm going to give her one anyways. The queen of Set 7 Dragonlands, rank 1 in North America at the very end of it. Welcome, Rainplosion, to the show.
Hello. Happy to be here.
Great. All right, happy to have you as well. We had Rain back on previously at the end of Set 7, and it's actually been a little bit of time since I think we've had Rain back, so excited to have her. In the bottom left, we have a newcomer to Don't Talk If You Don't Know. It's LilTop. LilTop, welcome to the show.
Yeah, what's going on? What's up, y'all? My name is Matt, aka LilTop. I've been playing competitive TFT since like Set 6.5. I've consistently been Challenger ever since. And yeah, I most recently played an LCQ last set, and I ended up going 4th. Which is a little bit short for regionals, but you know, it is what it is. But yeah, happy to be here, and I'm glad I was able to be picked alongside with all these finalists.
LilTop's made multiple deep runs in North American Cups, making it to final lobbies. Also representing not just like USA, but you have a lot of Filipino pride, if I recall correctly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like there's not many Filipino North America people in the scene, and I was kind of like looking for someone like that within the North American scene, and I didn't really find anyone. I know like there are some Filipino TFT reps from the actual mainland, and they're repping hard. But yeah, hopefully I can rep them here in North America.
All right, sounds good. In the bottom center, we have also a new face to the podcast. It is Reynzer. I swear he's not Setsuko's like little cousin or anything like that. I think there's a little bit of similarities there. But Reynzer, welcome to the show.
Yeah, I've gotten that I look like Setsuko a little bit. But anyway, hi, my name's Ren. I just love playing TFT. That's it.
Yep. Renzer's made it also pretty far in tournaments before, also kind of a North American staple, but also has hit rank 1 back in Set 4, which is actually quite similar to Set 10. So maybe some commonalities to draw there. Last but certainly not least, we have NicNac in the bottom right, also a person who's made a climb to rank 1 before in his own right on solo queue. NicNac, welcome to DTIYDK.
What's up, everyone? I made it to rank 1 in Set 8, held it for about 12 hours, and I've also never made like day 4 of a tourney, but I love TFT and I want to be the best I can.
Hey, it counts. The end of the set when Darth Noob does his these people were rank 1, you were on that list, buddy. That's pretty good.
All right, so a lot of it is not just a mixture of your applications, right? It's not just like we picked random names out of a hat, and we can just go ahead and say it. There's some really strong players, right? Asa applied, Bryce, Preston applied, Bosso skills clear. People who've made it to regionals who we can always justify. But as much as we want to look at all the people for what they can do in TFT, it's also about the story and the background. So I want to encourage you guys, the six of you here, to just be yourselves. Don't try to feel like you have to specifically put on a persona. This is not about content. We're not trying to like meme. This is really about like we're trying to give the person, not necessarily even just DQA, Haiden, Rain, etc. It's just more about like what is Daniel like about, and what do you like about TFT, and the humans element is really important to us, and that's the best way we feel like we can honor Boopasaurus and their partner for sponsoring. And once again, thank you so much, Boop, for putting this forth. Okay, so without further ado, our first segment is an icebreaker. Okay, I think some of you guys need to loosen up. So we decided to prepare a quiz before the show. We're going to do 10 questions, very simple. You guys have all your writing materials. We're going to do it like Schooled. If you guys don't know Schooled, it's a Twitch game show where everyone live answers by holding up answers, right? It's a piece of paper, or maybe it's their phone, maybe it's a whiteboard and marker. And you guys will have about 10 seconds to write down your answers. And we're just going to go through them one by one. And the best performing people will get to pick what order they want to interview in. Because after this, we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 interviews for about 8 to 10 minutes, probably 8 minutes because we're a little bit short on time. And then you get pick your spot. And so it'll be a fun way for you to play for seeding. Also get to know how much you know about the show and TFT. They're all Don't Talk If You Don't Know /TFT related. Does that sound good? Is there any questions anyone has? All right, without further ado, let's go ahead and fire up the first question. All right, and it goes from easy to hardest. Okay, so the first question, hope you guys know this one. Number 1, what set did Don't Talk If You Don't Know first start? So which set, you can just write the set number, you can write the set name. Which set did our podcast start?
Harder than other questions, by the way. I think there will be easier questions.
If you guys get this wrong, and you guys definitely did not follow the podcast in the very beginning, but it's pretty easy.
Dan, this is not easy. This one is not easy, I feel like.
Oh, come on.
Some people know for sure, but I don't think it's quite as obvious as
All right, ready? 10 seconds up.
We should do a chat poll on this.
I mean, we'll see. 3, 2, 1, reveal. All right, Bryce, did they get it right?
I have a big board, so I'm like, hold on.
6, and just be honest. Is yours a 6?
Okay, DQA, your webcam blur is making it hard to see. But it is set 6. Set 6 is when we started.
Okay,
also, can you guys okay, Haiden has the easiest to read, but you draw thicker lines. It's a little bit hard. Bryce, I'm gonna need you to verify this. Okay, cool. So everyone got question 1 correct. All right, sounds good. Pretty easy. All right, question number 2. Who has won the most prize money for North America? This is for TFT, not just in general, not in gaming. It's Teamfight Tactics, esports. Who has won the most prize money for North America? Which I think this question has to be also pretty easy. Let's go ahead. Ready? 3, 2, 1, and reveal. All right, we got replay. Robin songs for Rainplosion. Replay. That is correct. Replay is the right answer because he won the world championship that had the most money. He clears everybody else. Robin's not a bad guess if it wasn't the world championship, Rain.
Rain, what's it like being the only person in dead last right now?
I misunderstood for the question.
All right, no worries. Okay, so Rainplosion currently has 1 ding. I'm just going to keep general tallies. So don't worry, Rain, there's plenty of questions to catch up on. You're not going to get eliminated. Question number 3. Who has historically the better fantasy record between Bryce or Frodan? 50-50 guess, by the way, guys. Who historically has the better fantasy record between Bryce and Frodan? Bryce, of course, hated that this question made it to the final 10. 3, 2, 1, reveal. Bryce from DQA, Frodan. That is right. 5 out of 6 people got it correct. DQA, you really thought Bryce beat me?
DQA's biased because I've drafted him a couple times and he's done well, so he just probably assumes good things are happening.
DQA, have anything to say about that?
Yeah, that was my thought process.
Someone go back and check the tape on this, by the way, because I will say that for the first little while of the show, I was kicking Dan's ass, and we didn't at any point in time go back and look at the previous week's fantasy draft results. We didn't at any point in time bring it up. And then he goes on a hot streak on a set where I'm not even playing. And every episode, he is finding an opportunity to bring this up. I'm just saying.
I'm just doing trivia questions about the show history, Bryce. It's just important for our viewers and our contestants to understand things about our podcast. There's no bias involved at all.
I agree. And I look forward to continuing to put the scoreboard up in future sets.
Welcome back to set 10, Bryce. I welcome the challenge.
That's the spirit.
Okay. All right. This next one, I think the difficulty ramps up a little bit. Question number 4. Which month of the year did we release our first power rankings? This is kind of related to the first question, which was set 6, so hopefully you can use that as a hint. Which month of the year did we release our first power rankings? There's a 1 in 12 chance, hopefully, for you guys to get it. Ready? 3, 2, 1, reveal. We got a March,
Did anyone say December?
June, September, and April. That is incorrect across the board. It is December that we released it because it was set 6 was towards the end of the year, guys. Remember, Arcane released, and then the holidays happened, and then set 6. It's okay. It's fine. Honestly, maybe this question was harder than usual.
DQA, for future answers, please can you write smaller? You're writing so big we can't see.
okay.
Oh, I guess that people are looking at chat for answers. The chat may or may not know, and you don't have enough time to look it up. This next one should be one that I think a lot of people know. Maybe this one's a medium difficulty, depending on how much you follow. Question number 5. Which player has the most Worlds appearances in competitive TFT? Which player has the most Worlds appearances? Just write their name down.
North American or no?
No, just in general, period, in all of TFT. And it is not Soju, chat. I see a lot of people writing Soju. All right. 3, 2, 1, reveal. In the top left, it was
Rain's
Volta.
got
Nope.
it. It's just Rain, I think.
Ging, Flancy, Hwanmei, Title, and Shunga. Wow, actually, a lot of good guesses across the board, but only Rainplosion got it correct. It is Hwanmei who made it 4 times in a row.
beast.
Everyone else that's mentioned made it 3 times or 2 times.
What a beast, by the way.
4
My
times
God,
in a
he's
row.
good at
4,
TFT.
5, 6, and 7, which was pretty insane. Number 6. Who placed second in the Set 9 World Championship? This was just like a month ago. Who placed second in the World Championship? Runner-up. We all know who won. Title gapped the entire world, basically. But who got second? 3, 2, 1. I saw the top didn't write any names, so I'm giving him time. Show him.
Question mark, question mark.
Wasted Iverson, but
No idea. Oh, wait, we have one.
We have one. Haiden got it correct.
Wow,
Wet
what a
jungler. Okay, question number 7. There's only a few more. How many points did Robinsong score in his legendary Set 5 Regionals run? It's Set 5, and I'll just tell you the score. Like, it was 1-1-1-1-1-1-1-5-1. I might have thrown in a couple of ones.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I don't think that was.
Oh, yeah, because if I say it, then they're just going to count. But it was the 1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-5-1. How many points did Robinsong score in his legendary Set 5 Regionals run? I guess this is the last day. The last day, by the way, just to clarify. Not the entirety of the weekend. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, reveal. The answer is 54. Did anyone get it?
54.
Yeah, they didn't know.
Yeah, the trick question is, we counted first as 10 points back in the day.
Yeah, we played multiple sets of competitive TFT where we had gaps between 5th and 4th and gaps between 2nd and 1st.
That's right. Do you guys remember that? Who here misses that system? Anybody here misses that system of extra points?
Nope.
No?
It was agreed
All right.
upon at the time that it was the best system, no? I remember we discussed this so much in Lobby 2, like what point system do we use for tournaments back in the day?
Yeah.
We were like, oh, this is the best.
Yeah, I think because at the time we thought there was more influence over like, okay, we're just gonna get the top 4, and with that we thought that was gonna produce a lot more fourths. When in reality it was all just like AVP, and we were like, we just wanted this to be.
You just wanted AVP, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so going to question number 8. This one is about Set 10. How many unique champions are in the current pool of Set 10? And I will tell you that KDA Kali and True Damage Kali count separately. How many unique champions are in the current pool of Set 10? We give a point price to who's the closest if its price is right.
I mean, we'll decide if it's close at the end, but I think we got to stick with the same format for now.
All right. 3, 2, 1, reveal. And the answer is 60. Did anyone get close? 58. Wow, that's really close. Oh, nice try. Nice try. 60 is the answer. All right, we're probably going to dial it down a little bit for the precise number of questions. Question number 9. What is the highest average prismatic augment in Diamond Plus? Not the win rate. If you just sort purely by highest average placement currently. In Diamond Plus, according to Tactics.Tools, as of today, what is the highest average prismatic augment. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. Stationary support, egg, stationary support, binary, and level up. The answer is endless hordes. Believe it or not, it was surprising to me too. But Golden Egg was second reign, very close, close.
It's actually not that close. It's a 3.87 average. It gaps. Everything else is 4 or higher.
That's right. Okay, so we were a little bit of a dry spell, but maybe you guys can finish strong. This one, I'm gonna arbitrarily give a second point to if you can get this correct.
Whoa.
I'm arbitrary. It's our show. It's our rules. Ready? Question number 10 for 2 points. You can jump to the lead if you get this right. No one else does. What are the names of the true MVPs of Don't Talk If You Don't Know? The partners of Bryce and Dan.
If anyone gets this, I'm gonna be blown away.
It's just because Bryce has talked about it a lot. I've talked about it a lot. I feel like you guys can get like 1 or 2, maybe if you're lucky. But I feel like some people are lost. We give them 5 more seconds, Bryce. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Did anybody get it? Tay and question mark?
They have to get points for sure.
What's up?
They have to get points for sure for getting Tay's name.
Okay, yeah, Taylor. So 3 people got Taylor's name correct, and the other person is Adrian. Adrian is Bryce's partner, and we also want to give them a big thank you because they actually are really big supporters of the podcast.
Agreed.
Show some love. Okay, so with that, who got it was Rainplosion got 1, NicNac got 1, and DQA
got 1. Which does that create a 3-way tie for first?
It does create a 3-way tie for first.
Okay.
And I think we said that we would random.org it if it was a tie, because we don't have time to do a tiebreaker, or like I can't think of a tiebreaker, I guess, at this point. Yeah, I think we're just gonna do it randomly generated. So I'm gonna go ahead and do 1, 2, 3. So it's gonna be NicNac. You are first to pick what slot you want on the interview. So your reward is you get to choose 1, 2, 3, or 5, 6.
I'll just go first.
Okay. Oh, I didn't expect that at all.
I like it.
All right, Rainplosion, you are up next. You pick one first, or everything except first.
Well, I read somewhere that the most memorable interviews are the first or last ones. So the first one's taken, I'll take the last one.
Wow. That's what I thought. I thought most people want to do the last one.
Wow, these people find Edge immediately, Dan.
All right, and Haiden, where do you want to go? But you can go 2nd to 5th.
I'll go 3rd.
3rd. Okay. All right. And then I'm going to roll it again because there's a 3-way tie for the one below. DQA, you can go 2nd, 4th, or 5th.
I'll go 5th.
Okay. And then LilTop, you choose the 2nd to last slot. 2nd or 4th?
I'll go 4th.
All right. And Reynzer, I'm sorry to say, but you get 2nd by default. Or maybe that's exactly what you wanted.
Yeah, I wanted to go 2nd anyway.
So we're going to have our first interview with NicNac and just get to know him. And I'm going to put on, Bryce, I think 8 minutes sounds fine.
Yep, sounds great.
All right, let's go ahead and get started.
Question, because I want to do, okay, so first question, and this is the only disadvantage going first. We're going to ask this one across the board. You have 60 seconds to tell us your story as a TFT player. Go.
Okay, I started playing in beta. My friend introduced me to the game. I used to just watch Scara and Toast on YouTube and play it casually. And then through Scara, I found Kurum on Twitch. And once I started watching Kurum, it kind of opened my eyes to how complex the game could be. And then over time, I kept playing more and more here and there and finding myself putting more time into it. And then around set 6, I made a conscious decision to be competitive at the game. And then set 8, I finally got to rank 1 on ladder. And never really made any big tourney runs yet, but I've just always really liked how complex the game is and how much I can improve at it,
So you mentioned earlier that you had never made it to day 4 of a cup. How many times have you made day 3, and are you auto qualifying through ladder ever, or are you always playing opening weekend?
Oh, I'm usually pretty bad at the start of a set, so I end up having to make my run through day 1 and 2, and I don't even remember. I think I made day 3 twice in I think Shurima Cup and one other one. I don't remember.
And
But
you were a good enough player to day 4 in either of them, or in experiencing it, did you feel like you were clearly below the field when you got day 3 both times?
I think, like, with that lack of tournament experience, it's almost like I've done a lot of sports and stuff, and like it's like you're almost like a different person on race day, and like on tourney day, like my mind just like worked differently. Like I just had nerves that I didn't ever have on ladder, and like looking back, like really simple decisions that I know I have the capacity to not do. Like I just like definitely like messed up there, so I just need more experience for sure.
Did you have your moments? It sounds like maybe your lows were a little bit lower than you used to, but did you have some moments you look back and you're like, okay, that was some good TFT, like I cooked a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. There were a couple, like especially on like day 2, like day 1 or 2 or one of the tournaments, I was like top 5 in the points. I was doing really well. I also played in like an Aegis, like the Aegis Champion League for one season, and I did pretty well in that. But then I also made it to finals in that, and then really had that pressure kick in, and my flaws like amplified, you know.
Cool. So I think we can. I want to take a step back as well and kind of ask about the stipend part of your application. You submitted and said that the stipend would actually go a long way because your family is also traveling to Las Vegas to support you for the event. Is that correct?
Yes, they are.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that? Who's coming? Why are they, like, you know, do they know about TFT? Are they coming only to just watch you play?
Yeah, they know absolutely nothing about TFT. My dad is off this week, and he asked me if he could like sit down with me and have me show him what the game is.
Oh yeah, did you do it?
Is your dad a gamer?
Yeah, no, not at all.
That's awesome.
But yeah, probably like sometime tomorrow or Tuesday. I'm gonna teach him what's going on. But yeah, so I was basically just originally just gonna try to go myself, but honestly, I'm probably not even that comfortable traveling like that much on my own, and I don't really know too many people personally. And my entire family, which is my mom, my dad, my sister, decided to take the trip with me, which is a cool way of them like acknowledging that like they understand that like I'm serious about like competing in this. Like I really love like TFT and like trying to improve and being a competitor, and you know, with that comes more plane tickets, more spectator passes. I'm actually still looking for one.
For your family, yeah. If anyone has a spectator pass, I guess you're trying to buy a spectator pass. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, for my sister, because I just had 2.
We can find a way to make that happen, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would just be really nice to like make the trip worth it for them, and also like take a nice chunk out of the financial
Travel
part of it
expenses
for them. Yeah,
for sure. And
Fair
do you think
enough.
Vegas is the first time that your family is realizing how serious you are about this?
yeah, definitely. I mean, like, I used to stream like Rocket League. I was on like a little sort of bubble team. I had a coach back in the day. I was like trying to go pro in that. As that kind of fizzled out and I started enjoying TFT more, I started slowly going more into TFT. But I've never really had like any big results to like, you know, like they obviously like support like what I'm doing, but I don't really have any tangible results to like give them and show them like this is like really gonna work out, you know?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I just want to be really honest, and the whole point of this process is to be transparent. You are probably the least accomplished player out of the 6 that we have. So what can you do to inspire confidence that we're not just give it to you and then you flame out in 3 games and then it's like, well, that's the last of the stipend.
I mean, I've been, ever since PvE went live, I have been all in. I mean, I'm just trying to watch and play and learn and ask as many questions as possible. I don't think I've ever really played this much TFT this consistently before. So, I mean, whether or not I get the actual results is really, in the end, up to me. But I can promise you I am giving it everything I've got.
When you look at because evaluating your likelihood of success, this patch, next patch, do you have any understanding of how much differently it's going to play and whether or not that plays to your strengths or weaknesses?
I think the sort of like fast 9 set to go sort of play style is definitely not my general strong suit. So it took me a little while to kind of figure that out. And I think with this new patch and more forecast lines being viable, hopefully like that it'll like kind of incentivize more rolling at 8, and then like the average like lobby strength will just be like a little bit higher, so you can't really greed that extra turn to just have like those 2 lives when you have fast 9, and you might just have 1 and then bomb.
Okay. And you think, it sounds like you think that plays to your advantage as a player.
Yeah, because I definitely don't. I don't know if I'm confident enough to like fully like greed all those rounds and like keep losing and win out. Like I like to stabilize at different points of the game, and I think with more outs and more knowledge, hopefully that can play out better.
Okay. We're basically out of time. Is there anything else that you think we should know? Anything that you wanted to talk about coming in that we haven't talked about yet?
Yeah, last 30 seconds.
Not really. Just really happy I even got on here. I watched like basically every episode. It's really cool to like be a part of the show, and I just really appreciate all the work that you guys put into being actual competitive players yourselves, as well as casting and all the stuff you do for the community. So
appreciate that, man. And it's been a pleasure. So we're out of time, and NicNac, we're gonna put you on ice until we figure out who it is. Good luck, and we'll see you soon.
All right, thanks.
All right, and with that, let's go ahead and meet our second person. We got Reynzer coming up here, and was going to go ahead and put 8 minutes on the clock. All right, let's get started. Bryce, take it away.
Same first question. 60 seconds. Tell us your story as a TFT player.
Okay, yeah. So I started off playing Hearthstone competitive actually, like several years ago. And then I made the change to TFT. And I don't know if you guys know Fluffy, but Fluffy helped me get into TFT. He coached me back in set 3. By set 3.5, I was challenger with his help, and I've been hooked ever since. I played the game at first, just liking the game really, the strategy, the super high skill cap ceiling, and I stayed for the community. Everyone's been saying like how much they enjoy just the game and the skill cap, but I wouldn't. To be honest, I probably wouldn't still be playing if it weren't for everyone in the community. So. That's why I'm here.
So you're here to make friends. Is that what I'm understanding correctly?
I'm here to compete as well, but the community is definitely a big reason why I still play this game.
You know, I'm not surprised to hear you give that answer, because I feel like, so you and I have never connected directly before, really, right? But I feel like I hear your name a lot, like you're friends with a lot of people. Exactly what is your social circle within TFT? Like, who are the people that you're friends with, talking to? What's your connectivity to everyone?
I mean, yeah, I feel like people are going to get upset if I leave them out, but, you know, I'm in call with a DQA like every night, playing TFT until like 3 a.m. The first people that I actually met through TFT is Dallas Yes and Asian Gamer 5. Maybe some names that you might have not have heard in a while. Fluffy as well. You got the deep cuts, yeah.
man. Great.
Yeah, but I talk to a lot of people in the TFT community, and yeah, just love it.
Got it. One thing in your application that you said is that, I quote, "I believe I should be awarded this stipend due to my ambitious plans for my future in TFT." Can you explain what those ambitions are? Because that has me intrigued. You basically explained like a lot of different things, and we don't have time to go through because that takes so much time. So I want you to take the floor and say, what are your ambitious plans for the future of TFT?
Yeah, so I guess in summary, eventually I want to be a lot more competitive with TFT. As I would sort of describe myself as sort of like a casual competitive person in the TFT community. I join tournaments when I qualify accidentally through ladder for fun. Never really giving it much prep time. I play usually to not very good results, which is to be expected. But recently I've been missing competing, and so this set in particular, I've been going all in on on the set and really grinding. This was the first set I ever actually grinded PBE. I played a bunch of PBE games, which I normally don't do. But yeah, I've been really practicing, especially for this Vegas tourney. So
you wrote here specifically that you want to fund your educational pursuits, that you are studying game design at DigiPen, which is where Mortdog went to school for game design as well. Why not bring that up? I mean, I feel like that's like a really big part of your story, and like it's not just about like who wants it. I feel like everybody wants it. Everybody wants to grind. Everyone's trying hard. Everyone's playing PBE. Talk to me about that. Do you want to just play TFT and then be a game dev? Do you want to go work on TFT? Like, what tell me about that.
Yeah, I'm studying game design here. So far having a blast, and one of my goals it would be great to work eventually work with the TFT team and be a game designer for TFT. And so technically, and giving me the stipend could help make the game better for everyone if you believe that I'd be a good game designer. But you know that
you're a bad game designer could go the other way though. Have you thought about that?
That is true. I could be on the TFT team and just make the game absolutely atrocious for everyone. The opposite could definitely be true as well. But
is there going to be any rivalry between you and DQA going into Vegas? Like, if you had your druthers, is it important to you to finish ahead of him in the tournament?
I mean, I'm not too worried. DQA is probably going dead last, so I don't think there's going to be much of a rivalry there.
Okay, out of curiosity, real talk on that topic for a second. How good do you think DQA is? Because you're in call with him a lot. You've watched him play a lot, and you're casual competitive, which means maybe you're not investing as much yourself, but I think you probably would pay attention to the people you're watching, that you give that kind of energy. So how good is his skill ceiling at TFT if he tried?
If he tried, DQA could be, I think, one of the best players, if not the best player in North America, if he tried. But, you know, you go ahead and look at his Discord status, and he's just in Valorant game most of the time. So if we're talking about ceiling, it's really high. If we're talking about right now, I think he's pretty good right now. I wouldn't say. I mean, I'm not gonna say he's just cracked out of his mind, but you know, he's been grinding. So
I talked to Goobums a fair amount, and he always said that you were a really underrated player, but he does his Goobums things where he just says, no, just trust that he's good. I've never been able to hear from him why he thinks that you're so good. So if you were to assume Goobums, why does he believe so much in your potential? Because you've hit rank 1, but it seems like it's a time/motivation and investment thing, and we don't want to give it to somebody who kind of like lacks that investment, either motivation or time, just availability. So what would you say Goobums thinks about you if you were to put yourself in his spot?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I haven't talked to Goobums in a little bit, but he probably, I mean, I'm sure he thinks that I could probably compete at the highest level if I wanted to. I certainly think that. I'm trying for this set. So I guess we'll see how it goes. I have high hopes for this set, so hopefully I can make it competitively.
What's your level of confidence? Because you're coming in, you have this sense of how good you think you would be for all this period of time, but you've never actually like put your money where your mouth was and tried, and that's vulnerable on some level. So how confident are you going in that you're going to reach your potential?
That's very fair. I think I have a really good shot. One of the sets that I was the best at was set 4 and 4.5, which is when Chosens were out. I think there's a lot of similarities here. So I'm confident that I can make this set work. To more on that, the last time I actually I think I put a lot of effort. I actually prepared for a tournament was in Dragonlands LCQ, where I placed pretty well. I think I went fourth I think at LCQ. And so that gave me a lot of hope that maybe I could, if I did put in the work, maybe, you know, this could be something for me.
What does work look like when you're saying I want to put in the time, I want to put in the work, I want to put in effort? There's a lot of ways people do it. Some people are insane; they grind 1,000 solo queue games, and some people are like, I just watch nonstop. What does work mean to you?
I've always been a huge advocate of VOD reviewing and watching more than playing. I do a lot of TFT coaching on the side. I always tell my students like 50% watching and 50% playing is the way to go. Sometimes, actually a lot of times, you can learn a lot more from watching and VOD reviewing other people and your own games than you can by playing. So yeah, work to me means a lot of VOD reviewing, but also playing as well, and a lot of in-houses and stuff like that.
All right. 10 seconds left. Any final words?
thanks for having me here, and special thank you to Boopasaurus for sponsoring this, and just really grateful to have this opportunity.
All right. Thank you very much. Round of applause for Reynzer. Thank you so much for joining us. And same thing as I said to NicNac, I wish you best of luck, and we'll see you afterwards. All right, let's go ahead and welcome our third person, Haiden, to the show from EMEA from Sweden. Wake up at 4 a.m. I'm going to put 8 minutes on the clock, and we're going to get started.
All right, 1 minute. Your story as a TFT player.
Yeah. So I started already back in set 1, obviously. In the beta, I started playing the game under a different name, Sunny Lou, back then, obviously. Some people might know that name or not. And right off the bat, when the game released, I was like, okay, maybe I'm pretty good at this, you know, because even when it was like only normal games, like I was winning every single game I remember. So I was like, okay, maybe I can compete in this, because being in esports and like playing tournament stuff has been like a childhood dream of me. And I've always been pretty good at games, but like not at this level. And then like when we started having worlds in set 3 and 4, I obviously tried to compete in them and played in some of the EMA regionals and stuff. But then combined with some private life things and the RNG nature of TFT sent me down a bad spiral in mental health, basically. So like set 5 and set 6, it was a really dark place for me. So I was like, okay, maybe I shouldn't play this game anymore. And then I took a break and I fixed some of the mental stuff. And I was like, okay, now it's set 8, like maybe I can work and stuff. Like working full time now. I was like, okay, maybe I can play the game for fun. I started set 8 again. Okay, it was pretty fun. And then obviously that ended up with me being at Worlds instead, which is pretty amazing, actually. And I realized that when I play the game for fun, I just play a lot better, you know, if the game is fun. And also, like the mental stuff, I think that's a really important topic to me to talk about, actually.
Okay. So what do you think, let's say someone comes to you and they're struggling in TFT player and they need help on their mental. Like what's the revelation that you had to help the mental aspect of TFT? Because you wrote that in your application. You're talking about TFT is just more than a game. It's a journey of strategy. It's a teamwork, which is really interesting as well. And then continuous self-improvement mentally. So can you speak a little bit about that?
Yeah, so the biggest thing that helped me was actually looking at poker. Like there are a lot of books about like poker strategy and poker mentality, and if you just read them and you think about them, but in ways of TFT, like you can see so many things that are like exactly the same about how to handle like different roles and how to always try to play your best game. Because I think that for a lot of people, they have like a big difference in their best level of TFT and their worst level of TFT. And if people can fix that, like, holy shit, people will be so good. Because I think everyone knows, like, okay, I can play really good, but I can also play really bad. So how do you always play at your very best, basically?
And do you think you've achieved that? Do you feel like whenever you're sitting down for a tournament day, you're playing your best TFT?
No, not yet. It's a journey for sure. Obviously, you have to also, like, always invest the prep time, but I think EMA finals in set 8, I invested time, and I was also like in a really good mental state, which just made me play a really good TFT, I think.
All right, I'm going to throw a little bit of a spice bomb here. Do you really believe that EMEA is at the same level as North America, or is the meme that North America is like a lot better and EU sucks is true? And if so, why for either?
I mean, obviously you can't argue with the results lately. Like the results always speak for themselves, I think. But also, I think, I mean, the top level in NA and EU are like equally good. Like they can both win tournaments, they can both win worlds, I think. Even if the results does speak for NA a bit more lately.
Do you think you're in that upper echelon of top players? You've made it to Worlds, right? You made it to Worlds in set 8, but like, do you think you're at the top? Like people talk about double 61. Now Volta's made it 3 times, right? Wedge Jungler is one of the new hot, like newer players. Do you think you're at that level?
Not consistently. I think at my peak level, I'm at the same like top level as those guys, but obviously some of them are a bit more consistent than me. But I think my peak TFT, when I invest the time, when I have the time to invest, like I think I'm at that level for sure.
What were the other games? You said you used to be really good at games, but not at this level. What were the other games that you had, like your previous most competitive games?
Oh, I used to play League a lot when I was like 14, 15, 16. I was like at the semi-pro amateur level, kind of. Like I played some Swedish lands and stuff. But basically at the time, it was like, okay, do I go to, what is it named in English? Like basically college. Do I go to like sports university, or do I pursue League? And basically I went to a sports university instead.
Wait, for what sport?
I've been a mountain bike pro as a junior.
A mountain bike pro?
What?
Yeah.
That's so random. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
that's really cool, but that's a really interesting
awesome.
thing.
So I always have the competitive drive in me since I was young.
Fascinating. So you're actually kind of like one of those Nordic gods, like very athletic. Are you like 6'5" too? Are you like
Yeah, how
200
tall are
200
you?
centimeters tall?
I'm really short for. being
Oh, okay,
a Swedish
okay.
guy, actually.
Okay.
Are you coming over solo?
Yeah. I mean, I'm traveling with Dark Hydra
Okay.
together with
Okay.
him, but otherwise it's completely solo.
Have you guys met in person before?
No, it's the first time.
Okay,
We
that's
talked
gonna be fun.
daily,
'Cause you guys have,
yeah.
right?
I look
And did
really
you-
forward to meeting him actually.
Did you guys talk about coming over when you decided you were going? Was it when he decided that you would go together?
No, basically I wasn't planning on going actually until Hydra qualified through EMEA finals when he made it to Worlds. I had like no intentions of going, but then he was like, "Oh, he's going," and I was like, I reached out to some people and like, "Oh, do you have a ticket like for me as well?" And they were like, "Yeah, okay, sure, we can get you in." I was like, "Okay, then I want to go."
Okay. How much does this stipend actually help you? You seem like you're one of the few people who actually have a job. That's actually different than a lot of other people who don't have a job. They're either in university or they're like between things. So I'm just curious about the stipend because I know it's expensive. I think if anything, there's actually a case for like making up some of those expenses. But how much of it is a need basis? If you could be very honest about that.
I mean, it would allow me to take more days off work to prep. Like basically, I could take today and tomorrow off extra to invest time, and I think that would help a lot. I don't really need it to be able to afford to go. I would just have less prep time, if that makes sense.
Okay, that's fair enough. Last 30 seconds, and so is there anything you want to say before we let you go?
Yeah, I mean, EU needs help now. We need
Yeah, but
You does need help. We can agree there.
No, but thanks for having me. Thanks for bringing me on. It's a pleasure just to be here. I think anyone who wins deserves it. But yeah, EU needs help.
All right. Thank you very much. We are halfway through officially. Thank you so much, Haiden, for stopping by. Let's get into the next person, the next candidate. We got LilTop joining us. 8 minutes starts now.
TFT story, 60 seconds.
Yeah. So a quick 60 seconds about my TFT story. I was primarily like a League of Legends player. Like I loved grinding solo queue. I played for my college. I was on a team, and then after that ended, I kind of had this itch to compete in a game. Like I've never competed in a game before that. And then I wasn't that great at League. I think I peaked Masters, and then I just stayed at a level. And then during the League off season, actually, I ended up playing TFT just for fun with like a couple friends. And I didn't really like it at first, not gonna lie. Or actually, no, I'm lying. I really loved it at first. I played like 1K games, and I was Heartstuck D1 like the whole time. It was just like so fun. And then I took a break until set 6.5 just because I went back to League and I was just like playing League, just like having fun with it. And then another off season happened again. And yeah, ever since 6.5, I think that's when I hit Challenger for the first time. And ever since then, I kept on grinding TFT and kind of playing for it. And I was just like, where can I really go with this? And then I realized there was open circuits like during set 7.5. I think that's when I first started competing. And ever since I started competing, I was kind of hooked on it. I was just like, wow, this is kind of like the competitive environment that I really enjoy or kind of wanted in a video game. So yeah, I've been competing ever since. I've been challenger ever since 6.5, and I make it to day 4s like sometime, or like maybe half the time. And then most recently, like I mentioned before, my most recent achievement was getting forfeit LCQ, which is a little bit short for regionals, but it is what it is. But yeah, quick story.
What do you think's stopping you from making that like extra next step? Do you think it's just time and experience? Some people like, you know, they break out the scene immediately and they have like the ability to go to the very top. Feels like you're just like a 1 or 2 step short. What do you think's missing there?
Yeah, so I think I actually found this out during LCQ. So that was like day 1 of LCQ. I wanted to kind of prep for DSG and I wanted to prep for LCQ at the same time. And I've never prepped before. I think that was like the biggest thing for me. Like, I never realized how OP VOD reviewing is, or even just watching other people's streams. Like, these people have been doing it for so long, and then like I was just like, what the heck? Like, this is crazy. Like, I ended up VOD reviewing with one player called Groxy and Cambly. I think Groxy just had it up, and he was just like, yeah, I'm VOD reviewing some of the LCQ stuff. I'm kind of interested in it. I was like, oh shoot, maybe I should do that too since I'm playing in it. And ever since like doing that, I realized not just grinding the game, because I just love grinding the game because it's like so fun. So like I would just hands down grind games and learn brute force, like how to do well. And I've had success in previous tournaments doing that. But now that I've spent a good amount of time competing, I realized, hey, maybe I should make some optimizations here and there. And yeah, I think I feel like that's the main thing that I'm going to take this set differently. Just because I feel like I've been having success, but not the success I want. I kind of had like that chip on my shoulder. I feel like I want to win like a major tournament. I want to make regionals, and I feel like VOD reviewing and like taking time away from the game and more into optimizing my review, I think that's definitely going to push me to the next level.
Okay, so now I want to follow up then. Who have you VOD reviewed so far since the start of set 10, and just like 1 or 2 lessons you learned from that session?
Yeah, so the most recent VOD review was my own VODs, because I felt like I was doing really well on ladder. So when I feel like I'm at a plateau, I don't know, I'm really new to VOD reviewing, right? Because I've never VOD reviewed before, and I'm slowly seeing like the benefits of it. So I feel like if I haven't plateaued, I won't watch other people's VODs, and I feel like I've been killing it early on ladder. So I would watch kind of my own VODs to see where I can optimize it, and then I started losing, like on ladder, or like trying to figure out like how to like go for first, and like I'm kind of like changing mindsets on how the meta's adapting, because the meta's adapting so fast. Like, you know, Fast 9 came out of nowhere. It's hitting everybody's just getting like the Fast 9 like, you know, disease. But
it's just so funny to hear you say it came out of nowhere, because for us it's like it came out of Setsuko streaming himself doing it for 12 hours a day every day and just beating everybody's ass with it.
Yeah, but he was ahead of the
funny because you're in a he was, but like we all watch other people a ton, so it's just funny that you're like experiencing it in a different, like almost plane of existence than we are.
Yeah, because my thing is like I'm playing with like Setsuko, or I'm playing with like Saint Vicious, or like I remember I saw Saint Vicious like in all my games, and I was just like, how's he Fast 9 every single game I'm in, and then I'm just going second every time? Like I'm like LilTop too. I don't know, but it was just like I realized. So yeah, going back to like VOD reviewing, I realized that. So my most recent VOD review was I was just VOD reviewing with Groxy, because I was like, oh yeah, like can we check out this VOD, like, or he wanted some help on like Pentakill Karthus or Pentakill like Karthus Akali, because I felt like I was doing really good on ladder with that. And I don't know, he's just like in the dumpsters of like D2 or like Masters. I don't know where he's at right now. I wanted to help him out because we're actually from like the same state, and we learned that. But yeah, I think just being able to recognize the moments where I high rolled, or like how I can optimize my low rolls, I think that's the biggest thing when I was doing really well. Like recognizing, okay, this spot was probably a high roll. Like thinking about the amount of gold I took to get a headliner that I really wanted to fit my board. Like recognizing that, I think was really important for me, since, you know, I feel like there's a lot of bias in TFT, right? Like you feel like when you're doing good, right? And you feel like you're doing good because you're just playing good. But maybe if you take a step back, maybe you just high rolled. And yeah, I think being able to take a step back and realize and recognize positions where you're high rolling or you're low rolling. I feel like that's been helping me develop as a player, and being able to optimize my low rolls, optimize my low rolls in the way of like going for 6, going for 4 if like maybe you didn't have a strong opener, strong mid game, and then optimizing your high rolls because you're recognizing, oh shoot, like I hit my board so fast, instead of just, you know, typical game of low rolling and then I'm rolling on 8 just for placements, maybe I could cap out my board a little bit more. So I think it's the start of the set. Everyone's learning how to cap out like slowly as the meta develops. People want to start winning, especially for Vegas, you know, you want to get as much placements as possible. So yeah, just looking at my VOD reviews on how I can optimize that, that's been super helpful.
Okay, man, I wish we had more time. You give really long, comprehensive answers. The last thing I want to ask is, you talk a lot about positivity, smile on your face, keeping good mental. Historically, people who've gone through that journey crack eventually. They go through a period of lows, and they actually start to resent the game because they can't bring that positivity and fun. They're not having fun. You can't grind. They don't have that motivation. Have you experienced something like this yet? And if you have, how did you get through it so that you can go back into being positive about TFT again?
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like I like to say I have a strong mental because I came from playing League. And then like playing League, like you just have like 4, like you literally have 4 people, like just.
So did all of TFT, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen all these answers.
Yeah, but some people just don't have that experience, like that strong monk mental, like, you know. And I feel like so that's why I have like a good foundation for it. But there are times where, you know, TFT just isn't going your way, and I feel like taking that step. I for me personally, I take a step back and I'm just like, you know, recognizing my why of like, why do I love TFT? Why do I like playing the game? You know, why do I enjoy playing TFT? And some people, they just go in the spiral of just like playing infinite games. And that's what I've done. Like, you know, like I played infinite games and maybe I wasn't like I've been in a spot where I wasn't in the best healthy relationship with TFT because it's so fun. And it feels like it was a coping mechanism like at some point. But I realized when I get to that point now, like recognizing that, just taking a step back and realizing, you know, it is a game. Like it should be fun. It should be something that I find enjoyable. And I feel like keeping that mindset in a competitive mindset, changing that to a competitive mindset, you know, if things don't go my way in a tournament, you know, at least I know like you know, like it's corny, but it's like, you know, like at least I tried my best, you know, I did what I could. And yeah.
For sure. Okay. I gotta cut you off there, man, because I want to make it fair for everybody else. But yeah, thank you so much for this conversation, and it was really fun. 8 minutes and flew by, and we'll see you soon, man.
All right, yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Round of applause for LilTop in the chat, please, as we welcome our 5th person, one of the most accomplished, if not the most accomplished thus far. It is DQA, young Daniel. Welcome to the show. We have 8 minutes. Starts now.
You know how it starts.
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name's Daniel, or DQA. I would say my TFT journey really started also in beta. I was actually like, okay, so let me preface this a little bit. I moved around a lot when I was a kid, so then like I didn't really like. I had like a lot of friends that were just like I couldn't really stay in touch with. So then I got like through that by playing League, and then pretty much I just got like really addicted to League for a while. I was never really good. That's actually where the name DQA comes from. I was a League player, and it stands for dual cube user. Never really that good, but I just really enjoyed playing with my friends. And then I would say that when TFT first came out, all my friends were saying, hey, like TFT beta just came out, like you should come play with us. And then in the past, I hated all these games. I was the lowest rank in Hearthstone, just could not play card games for the life of me. It was just terrible overall. And then they're like, hey, just come play with us. We really need an 8th person. I was like, no. Like I'm terrible at these games. I don't want to play this. I don't have fun when I play this. And then like I just would rather keep playing League, right? And then eventually I gave in, and then we sat in like a 20 or 30 minute queue time or whatever it is, the long queue time to get into a lobby. And then we played one game. I had fun during that game, but then like I just became really, really competitive after that with them. So then we were just sitting there playing normals. I still have a Discord server with like some of my closest friends from like 5th or 6th grade or whatever it is, from like all different states. I have a Discord server with them, and then I think we still have like the archive of like our normal TFT scores. So like I would like go second or something. We like keep track of our own scores and like our little own in-houses. And so yeah, it was just me and one other person really just like competing against each other. And I guess him and I just became really, really competitive. And then he got hard stuck in Diamond 4, and then I hit Challenger after that game. So
he sucks.
Yeah. So and then after that, I got stuck in set 2, set 3. I realized you can't exactly just you can't really just just play by yourself, just play with like my casual friends. Everyone else quit by that point in time, but I was still addicted. This is when I first actually got into Twitch. I never really watched Twitch any time before then. So I started watching streams and stuff like that, and then I started playing a lot, and I hit Challenger again in set 3. And then finally I realized that like, hey, like this is really, really fun. And then I was gonna like invest more time into it, see if I could actually like watch some more competitive, play some more competitive. But then my family decided to move again, and then I moved to Alabama, and then this is probably one of the worst ones of my life. I was really like overall, I just left like everything that like I built up, I guess, and like all my friends were over there, and like I just couldn't really relate to anyone in Alabama. But then I started playing TFT more because of that in set 4. Like I just spent all my time on it pretty much, and then that was the first set where I really met like some of the most amazing people in my life. So then, for example, I remember the first Discord server I ever talked to the TFT people was Garchomp Pro. I don't know if either of you guys remember that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. So then that was like the first Discord server that I ever really like connected with people with, and then since then like that set really, really motivated me to keep playing. And then I hit rank 1 that set, and then I was just streaming to like some of my friends on Discord, and then Q just randomly raided me out of the blue that day. Like I had no audio, no cam, no mic. I was streaming to my IRL friend from Indiana who was a casual like the Diamond 4 player. Like because for whatever reason my Discord stream wouldn't work, so I was just streaming to him on Twitch, and then like I'm on 180p, and then Q just suddenly raided me 2,000 viewers. and I was like, and then immediately after that, I'm streaming from a Mac. My stream crashed.
Yeah.
Oh.
My stream crashed. I'm running back as fast as I can, and then all the viewers are already gone. I have like 200 viewers left, and everybody's asleep. And I was still just sitting there like, man, like I don't know what's going on.
Okay, wait, DQA.
That's
You
a
gotta
really
speak the
fun.
story.
That's a very long intro.
Yeah,
sorry.
60 seconds. We're 4 minutes in. bro.
Half our
Okay,
time
wait.
is gone.
I am gonna regret it if I don't ask this question, so I have to get it out first. Okay, the question is, why should we give you a stipend when this is a group of people that are mostly very deeply invested in finding their skill ceiling as a player, and you seem relatively disinterested in that?
I don't think I would ever say I've ever been like really disinterested in finding my skill ceiling as a player. I think that I just have different priorities for like most of my life, I guess. So then I would say like during set 4 was like the first time I really like gave it my all, and then like after Worlds I realized that like, hey, like this might be something I want to do. And then after that I really did consider I wanted to become like a full-time TFT player. I was thinking about telling UCLA, hey, like can I defer my admission? I'm gonna try to stream for a full year. I'm gonna try to do my best and like just like really go full-time into TFT for a little while. But then I became really conflicted of it because I realized at that point in my life, I still really hated Alabama. Didn't really have anything to really do with anyone. And then also, my parents just like really did not. My parents were not on board with me at that time. And then my parents, my grandparents, everyone from my entire life, they've all like kind of known, hey, like you should become a doctor. You're gonna become a doctor. This is like you have a set track in life. I was originally planning on doing 4 years at UCLA, and then immediately going to med school, 4 years in med school, and then into fellowship, residency, everything, right? So then, that was my original plan, and then So then I decided to go to college because of that, and then just get out of like that mindset where like I had to be in Alabama. I had to like follow this track in my life. And then I realized that like when I came to LA, I was just like, hey, like life can be like so much more than this, you know? Like I just didn't really have like that great friends in real life as in Alabama as I do now. Like for example, yesterday actually, yeah, I hung out with I got K barbecue with Becca and like some of her friends, and then she's one of the most amazing people in my life now. I live like 10 minutes away from her. We hang out like honestly twice a week now maybe. And then same with Robin, like honestly like this and even my current roommate actually, he recognized me in my first year. I met him because I was just eating like a dying ball. I didn't really like know that many people. I was out of state. Some people already had friends. And then this guy comes up to me. He was like, hey, do you play TFT? And I was like, yeah, I do. And then he was like, no way, I used to watch your stream sometime. And then
you became
like,
roommates.
Yeah, and now he's my current roommate.
He made an appearance on the show earlier. You got to thank him for us.
Yeah. So so then I met him through that actually, and then I asked him later. I was like, hey, like I'm new to this school. Like, do you want to? He was a second year at the time. I was like, hey, like, do you want to come to this with me? Like, show me around and everything. And then so now we're currently roommates. And I remember one specific thing. He told me his Twitch username, and then he was like, this is my Twitch username. And then I remember it specifically in my chat. I was like, I was thinking, this username is so annoying. This guy just, every single one of his comments was just all backseating, and it was just so annoying. So then I remembered his username specific, and then I was just looking at it. I was like, huh.
That's fun. That's fun.
Hey, good thing you broke through that barrier.
It sounds like you're saying that you're trying to enjoy life, which I totally understand. For some people, it feels like they really want to push all in on TFT. And for you, it sounds like you're trying to distribute it. But then why is all the Valorant memes, right? Like the whole that like you're just going to play Valorant. Like if you're talking about priorities, I understand if you're not playing TFT because you're hanging out with friends, but it also seems like you're trying to actively avoid the game at times. Is that fair to say, or is that you think it's unfair?
I do think it's a little bit unfair to say, because I think that like, of course, like if I'm hanging out with like in person with my friends IRL, or like I'm just busy with other stuff, of course I feel like that's fair. Like the Valorant memes, like of course, like I do play Valorant sometimes, but I would just like to say at the start of set 10 I've quit Valorant. I haven't played a single game since then, and then I've been really grinding on this actually. My parents told me, hey, you should fly home to Alabama for Thanksgiving. I told them I'm not flying home. I'm just gonna stay here. I'm gonna play TFT the whole weekend. I streamed for like, so then yeah, I stayed home at Thanksgiving, and then I DoorDashed McDonald's, and I ate McDonald's for 3 days straight, just because I didn't want to interrupt her food.
You can get other food from
My
DoorDash,
gosh,
man. Like,
you don't have to get McDonald's, man.
Specifically for 3 days straight.
Okay, no, but it's a lot cheaper. It's a lot cheaper to eat McDonald's when you DoorDash it all at once. You keep it in the fridge, you just microwave it. It's easy. And
No, man.
This guy
Oh,
does need
God.
a stipend, Dan. He does need it.
No, he needs a proper diet, not a stipend. All right, well, DQA, what an interview, man. We're out of time, so I guess we won't be able to ask you any further questions. Thank you so much for stopping by, and we wish you best of luck. We'll see you soon.
Yeah, good luck.
Thank you.
We have to end this with Flightsy's new, one of my favorite copy pastas. DQA, also known as Dual Questions Asked, is known for his interview on DTIYDK, where he was only asked 2 questions by Frodan and Bryce over the course of 8 minutes.
Thank you so much, Daniel. All right, last but not least, let me change the name tag here. We got Miss Rainplosion. And don't worry, I'll get that fixed in just a second here. Rain, your 8 minutes starts now.
All right, TFT story, Rain.
All right. Well, much like everyone else, I came from League. I started in set 4 actually. I played 100 games, got the Masters, watched Infinite Soju, only knew how to play one comp, and that was literally just Fast 9. If I couldn't go Fast 9, I died in 8th place. And then I got the 0 LP Masters. You could stealth mode then, so I got scared and I quit. I came back in set 6, 6.5. I got the GM, and then I started to realize that, like, hey, this game is actually really fun. I wasn't scared of demoting from Masters to Diamond anymore because they removed that, so it was all good. And I started to really want to study the game. I watched people on Twitch from then on. Asa being one of my first Twitch streamers that I watched. And hit Challenger in set 6.5. In set 7, I really, really grinded the game. And that said, I went to the World Finals. After that, I definitely admit I've had like a low for 2 sets. Things didn't really work out that well for me, and I haven't had that many good tournament performances. Part of that is just like I was really busy at IRL. But starting from the latter half of set 9, I like really started to give it all my all. I really wanted to grind in TFT and be the best. I was ranked 1 on regionals patch, but it didn't work out then. And set 10 is where I'm gonna give it like one other shot.
Yeah. You talk about getting IRL diffed a lot, right? Because you're trying to make ends meet while pursuing TFT. You wrote in your application that if I'm understanding correctly, that you are trying to aspire to be full-time TFT, and you're saying the stipend would go a long way towards that?
Yeah. Right now I'm just like currently taking years doing nothing but TFT. Starting from like the later half of set 9, I'm really gonna just put this time to try to make TFT go as far as it can be for me. And I mean, I think I've been putting up the results lately. I've been like grinding ladder a lot, bodybuilding a lot. In Box Bootcamp, I mean, it wasn't. I definitely could have done better, but like it was still a top 8 solid showing because I got eliminated yesterday. And I mean, the money would mean a lot for me because I think I'd be able to use it to just pursue TFT more.
Yeah.
Rain, it's incredible how when you were telling your TFT story, you were just so unbelievably casual about like your world's appearance, your dog. Like, I laughed. I was like, I can't believe that this is how we're framing. You were by far the best player in North America in set 7 from start to finish. It was really, I mean, I think you were unanimous selection on our end of set ballot, which is an incredible achievement. That's so hard to do. And you were just so casual about it. Why do you think that is?
I've had a taste of what things can be, and I also always want to look towards the future. Like, it's cool to say that I was really, really good in set 7, but I don't want that to be that all I'm known for, all I like have done. I want to do better in the future. I believe that I can win worlds, and I mean, 7th at worlds, I think I can do better. So while I'm very happy about what I've gone through in my TFT journey, I mean, I'm always looking to do better.
I like that answer. You feel like you're ever playing for more than just yourself? I think a lot of people look to you as inspiration also for women, for what you represent and stand for. It doesn't seem like it ever strikes that much of a personal chord. I don't feel like you're ever on the soapbox preaching about it. So I kind of wanted to follow up. Is that something that's on your mind ever? And if so, is it a burden? If not, then I kind of just want to hear your thoughts about it.
It actually is like on my mind, and I do think about it a lot. I don't tend to talk about it that much. In part because like I don't want people to like solely support me because of that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But there is like a lot of, I guess, sometimes anxiety in me about like disappointing people's expectations, especially when I get like so many messages of support. Like, it's so heartwarming to hear that like there's people out there looking up to me, and I want to like do my best by them. But I also don't want to just have it be about that. I hope that like I can be, you know, a good TFT player, while supporting like disenfranchised people out there at the same time.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
You mentioned in your framing that you said something along the lines of like one more shot. I don't remember exactly what you said, but the reading between the lines, I got the impression this might be your last effort at full-time competitive. Am I misreading that, or what's your dynamic? What do you think about kind of medium to longer term future in TFT? How do you think about it?
So obviously I'm not doing anything right now, and like not doing anything financially speaking is not going to work for the long term. I was going to give myself until the fall of next year to just pursue TFT full time. It'd be about a full year of me like trying to do this. I started, you know, just like basically not doing anything else at the latter half of set 9. So fall of this year. And I mean, this is the 1 year where I'm just gonna like totally grind and dedicate myself to TFT like even more than I was in set 7. And I want to see where that goes. So set 10, even if I don't necessarily succeed, will not be my last shots. But
okay,
if the thing works out, it would definitely be my second to last.
What are your goals? Like, what do you need to accomplish over the course of the next 2 sets in order to keep going?
I want to find success. I'd like to stream a lot more, which like I've been doing this during the Box bootcamp. Some of that was hampered by just like having terrible internet. If anyone's watching my stream, I DC every like.
Yeah, you mentioned this is to upgrade your internet. That's a stipend. Like, I would use it to get better internet.
Every 10 minutes or so. And it's been kind of hard grinding solo queue when I DC every carousel and I'm last pick. Like I've like other people have yelled while I've been free. I've like old restrained and imprisoned. I don't know. I'm just last pick every carousel. It's really fun. I'd like to be able to select my component next time.
Despite that, you're still kind of beasting, Rain. This has been a really promising start to the set for you.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm like very happy with what I've been on the ladder. I got to quite a high rank. After yesterday, like I got dropped to the toxic challenge. I like kind of ran it down a bit, but I mean, I've been holding.
Oh no, her internet! Oh no, it's cutting out. All right, Rain, real quick. three specific goals that you have for set 10 to wrap this up.
This is so compelling.
It's like 1, 2, 3 very quickly. You only have 30 seconds left.
All right, I want to top 8 at Vegas. I want to make a final. I want to day 3 auto qualify day 3 every single time through ladder and not need to run through day 1, day 2. And I want to make it back to Worlds.
All right, I like that. And we're out of time. So thank you so much, Rain. And that does it for all of our applications. A round of applause for Rainplosion and all 6 of our candidates. Thank you so much. All right, so we're a little bit over time, but the way we're going to do this is Bryce and I are now going to transition, and we're going to meet. And basically, we're going to have about 5 minutes, Bryce, where we can talk about this. I'm going to put a 5-minute counter as well, and we're just going to start going. All right, so Bryce, I think we should just go through the list one by one and say, do we think they're a serious contender or not? So let's go through the first one. We're just doing this right on the fly. So NicNac, how do you feel? Thumbs up or thumbs down?
Thumbs up for me.
Okay, cool. Reynzer.
Wait, you're just gonna make me go? You're not gonna answer
No.
at
I
all?
just want to hear your opinions about it.
That's like brutal,
Okay, so you want me?
man.
Okay. I think NicNac is worth
like,
considering as well. So I
like
think you can go through our first selection here. It's kind of like a thumbs up, thumbs down pass. Okay. What about Reynzer?
Yes for me.
Okay. I'm half sold. I think part of it is because I want to believe in like what he wants into the answers that he gave, but I didn't feel like he gave me a reason why he deserves it more than other people. I think he's a deserving person in general, but I didn't hear like that X factor, if that makes sense.
Yep, makes sense.
Okay, Haiden.
No for me.
Okay, it's a yes for me, but I think we have to be unanimous on this. I really do believe in the opportunity and the growth potential that he has, and I do like the idea of the story of the EU, but the thumbs down, and in any case, we have to be unanimous on this.
I think it was purely need-based, to be honest with you, Hayden. Like, I really enjoyed having you here, and I think you deserve it. But I think if we're sending it to one person, like, the relative need isn't like co-equal across the board.
That's fair enough. Okay, cool. Then LilTop.
No from me.
Oh, interesting. I really like LilTop a lot. Why no from you?
So I really like LilTop a lot too. I think maybe it was like nervousness, and he said we asked at the start when I said like who's nervous for this, and he was the person who immediately raised his hand. And I think that the hard part for me with LilTop is I think that we got a lot of really great information from him, but I'm not sure that I got to like ask all the questions I wanted to ask, and I'm not sure that we got to the heart of like the Vegas of it all for him. Like I think we talked about a lot of interesting parts on his perspective on the game and his improvement as a player. So I'm like. My takeaway from LilTop is like I want to have him back on the podcast so we can talk to this guy for a long
actually,
period of
fair
time.
enough.
And like maybe he deserves the Vegas Stipend too, but I just don't know at the end of the thing if that makes sense.
That's actually really fair, and I think I'm really glad that you said that because I think I was drawn in by the personality, man. There's a lot of good things to love. If anything, I want to watch more LilTop streams. Great personality, but I think you're right. He didn't talk anything about what the stipend means in terms of contributing to his Vegas trip and like whether or not it really like. Makes that difference for him to help, get to Vegas or like make ends meet, things like that. It's not, and it doesn't have to be like complete like needs based either, but that is a factor, right?
There's a factor. I think there's a lot of variables being weighed. The reality is we're talking 5 minutes about an hour of conversation. I can't possibly distill all my thoughts down.
Yes, and there's 3 categories, right? For me, it's like the financial need, there's the player skill, and then there's the human element. And
maybe Dan, the better way to do it is just to go through all 3 of those on all of them and be like, because that's
how we nail it down, Bryce. Because we're just doing a gut check pass.
Fair enough. Keep going.
DQA is a no from me. I love Daniel, but I don't. He's here just saying like I'm here to party with my friends.
I mean, so DQA, my thing was the reason why you got invited is because you played a lot of games of this set relative to how much I had expected you to play. And you gave a very thoughtful application.
Yes, the application was great.
And thought about this. And so I thought that maybe you were going to come in and say like, look, like there have been large parts of my time in my past where I have not gotten to my ceiling, and I feel like I'm doing that for real now, and this is all part of it. And like I thought it was going to be a more kind of cohesive narrative. I believe that's part of what's going on, but I'm not sure you're ready to invest at the level these other people are. To be clear though, I'm your biggest fan. I would love to be proven wrong. Like I always will be rooting for you, even if I don't think that you're the right pick for this particular thing.
Yes. And then Rainplosion, I think that's the exact inverse of that. It feels like, that qualifies for me. Thumbs up from Rain.
Easy. Yeah.
The story there of like, well, it is one of her last true big efforts and pushes for TFT, which makes sense. Okay, so that brings us to NicNac, Rainplosion, and I guess at this point, I wasn't completely sold on Reynzer, so it's just those two people.
Yeah, that's fine. If we want to narrow it down to those two, then I feel great about that. And by the way, first and last, so being rewarded for their metagaming in the beginning and their knowledge of interview slot selection. Was this all just a simulation?
Was this all just a simulation? I think it's really unfair, but okay, so between these two, Bryce, the three things: the human, the need, and the player skill. And I think there's only one person that checks it off for me in terms of all three of these things.
Yeah, I think that where Rain has edge, and I think NicNac has to agree with this, which is that if you compare the two of them in likelihood to win Vegas, I have no reason to believe there's anything other than a fairly meaningful gap here. And NicNac, I would make me eat my words on that. You got a fan in me. I really enjoyed having you on the show. I'm gonna message Riot on the side to see about your sister's visitor pass. If you haven't gotten one yet, we're gonna see if we can make that happen for you. I can't promise anything, but it's a cool story. I imagine they'll like supporting a family if they can. If they've got a visitor pass that they think they can give out, then I'm sure we can get one. So we'll follow up and let you know about that.
Yes. Also, Bryce ordered like $300 worth of DTIYDK shirts. If you guys want to rep us anyways, and maybe we can build some incentives. If you guys make it far enough, we can reward you as well, because I feel like you guys all suffer through here. We actually made you guys come on this podcast. So if you want to work out a side deal of incentive and rep us anyways, we would love it. If we had our own DTIYDK Avengers take on DSG, just DM me and Bryce afterwards. We'd love to kind of work with you guys, because all six of you, thank you so much for everyone who joined in, because just one more time, a round of applause for our 6 people who are joining us or who joined us for the podcast. Thank you so much, DQA. Thank you so much, Haiden. Thank you so much, NicNac, Reynzer, and LilTop. I think you 5 are fantastic people. Just go ahead, one last wave goodbye to the camera from all of you. And we also want to take this moment to congratulate the winner of the stipend, Rainplosion. What's your reaction? First words, first thoughts here, Rain.
I mean, I'm really happy to have the one. I mean, I've talked about what it means for me, the money, and I hope I can do you two proud by repping DTIYDK at Vegas. And I'm the grinding solo queue, prepping on PvE, and trying to do the best I can.
Love it. You're going to do us proud, Rain, no matter what. And we're lucky to have you rep us. This is going to be, we're going to have however many people from this want to wear some DTIYDK shirts, and we're going up against DSG. I kind of like our odds, actually. Right? We'll be the underdog story, but we got this.
Yes, 100%. The last thing that we want to do before we close this show is an announcement. I'm sorry that I don't have Rain's cam for this view, but our next episode is going to be live in Las Vegas. We're going to be on the stage doing this episode, revealing details about EMEA, as well as previewing everything for the Vegas Open. So it'll be our first time trying to do a live podcast episode in person. Maybe it goes well, maybe it's a disaster. We're going to try a live fantasy draft. We're going to have a bunch of people. Rain, hopefully you stop by as well, because you will be repping the podcast. And that'll be the next time we're live. So hope you guys look forward to it. 10 a.m. Pacific on December 7th, the 2 hours leading up into the show. All right, so Bryce, we're here at the very end. Any final words? How did you feel like we got through the hedge fund episode?
I mean, I had fun. We've been talking for a little while about doing some kind of an interview format, and like whenever this happens, I enjoyed all these conversations a lot. I wish I got to know all of you way more. For some of you, I knew more going in. For others of you, I knew less. And so, especially with you, I feel like I knew less. I feel like we were just scratching the surface. And TFT really is such an amazing community. I love just getting to meet new people in it. So thank you for the people that I'd never met before for taking the time and kind of being vulnerable. We talked about some heavy stuff at times, and people were really like honest and open and thoughtful in their responses. So I really appreciate it.
All right. So thank you so much, everyone tuned in. Thank you again to our 6 contestants who showed up. If you guys missed any part of this podcast, you can check out our stuff at twitter.com/DTIYDK show or youtube.com/@DTIYDK. From Frodan and Bryce and everyone part of the broadcast, thank you so much for watching this episode of DTIYDK, and we'll see you guys next time for more TFT action.